And welcome back to the final part of Headliners. Let's jump back into it with the Telegraph. Nick, with this question, is science over?
Yep, soz. Major scientific breakthroughs have ground to a halt, study finds. So they're saying that no one takes risks anymore in science, and also people over-specialise. And we are in this very technical world now where I can understand that. You don't get a Da Vinci anymore. But where you do, people are saying breakthroughs often come when people draw on diverse knowledge from different sources. A good example is Aubrey de Grey, the guy who's trying to cure aging. He was a computer scientist who changed to biology, and it gave him a kind of outsider view. You could say Donald Trump, disrupted politics. I know he's not a scientist, but this thing about crossing disciplines allows you to be
That was a good crossing discipline you just did.
Thank you. And it allows you to be more well, I've crossed into serious commentary from comedy. That's why I'm so good. But this is the problem. People are only getting these incremental gains. There's also this sort of academic problem. Well, there's also this thing of the science. People don't like real science anymore. They like the science, this fake science. But also this idea of publish or perish, which you have in all academia, where you have to keep publishing pointless papers just to, keep your job, and it's all nonsense. So there's a lack of real innovation.
There's a problem. I think you're absolutely right that interdisciplinary studies are the way innovation occurs. But when it comes to this, there are major problems with, scientific bodies, scientific journals, universities, because there's so much ideological capture. Yeah. They're actually not really interested in the pursuit of truth anymore, and we're not really going to get the discoveries we once could. Well, is that a fair point?
Yeah, it's a fair point. I'd sort of fight against it a little bit. I'd say there have been some massive discoveries. There was the iPhone, audiobooks, the lamps you clap twice. We discovered recently that there are more than two sexes. So there's a lot of scientific
some
discovery.
really amazing breakthroughs that we're doing.
But
there.
It is interesting about how it seems like a lot of it is because it seems like people are focusing or specialising more on stuff, which means they have more to read than they had 50 years ago. And this is why, actually, part of the reason why I didn't end up as a rabbi, because it was easy to be a rabbi back in the day because you were just one of the first people writing stuff. But the more you go on, the more you have to study, and it gets harder and harder because you've got to study everybody before.
Were you really going to be a rabbi?
Yeah, I got kicked out.
I didn't even know you were Jewish. I'm so sorry.
But surely specialisation... I think Nick's right about interdisciplinary study. It was Kenneth Williams who talked about specialisation. He said specialisation means that everyone gets better and better at less and less until in the end someone is absolutely brilliant at nothing. And I think that makes a good point in a comedic way. Anyway, we're going to move on now to the Metro.
You did a good impression of Kenneth Williams.
Well, I can't do his voice, unfortunately. That's what
that was pretty good.